What is the best version of the best quarterback we've ever seen actually look like? Many fans might point to Tom Brady in 2007, torching defenses with 50 touchdowns. Others might say Mahomes from 2018 to 2020, launching bombs while redefining creativity at the position. Maybe you prefer Peyton Manning's cerebral dominance in 2013, or the dual-threat brilliance of Lamar Jackson in 2019. But there's another way to look at this, a way that filters out the hype and focuses purely on the numbers. Here's a chart of the top 50 quarterbacks in modern NFL history, measured by two critical stats: passer rating on the x-axis and touchdown to interception ratio on the y-axis. The further up you go, the more efficient they are on a per-game basis. The further right, the better they protected the football while putting up points. Names like Donovan McNabb and Alex Smith start the list off. Incredible talents, but not quite surgical. Keep going and you'll see Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, and Joe Montana. Guys who have shown an elite ability to throw the football throughout their career. Keep moving forward and you have Peyton Manning, Steve Young, and Tony Romo. Legends who have demonstrated efficiency throughout their careers. Near the top, we see Russell Wilson and Joe Burrow, legendary quarterbacks with stats to back it up. But above everyone else, almost identical career numbers are Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Clearly statistically, the two best careers we've ever witnessed so far. And then there's Aaron Rodgers, blowing every quarterback out with his efficiency. Across nearly 2 decades, Rodgers has thrown 503 touchdowns to just 116 interceptions. That's a ratio of 4.34 touchdowns for every pick, the highest in NFL history. And his passer rating is staggering 102.6, also the best among all qualified quarterbacks. And this isn't just a result of a few hot seasons. This is sustained greatness, from MVP campaigns in 2011, 2014, 2020, and 2021 to late game magic week after week, year after year. Rodgers didn't just avoid mistakes, he punished defenses while doing it. Where others take risks and trade turnovers for rewards, Rodgers just doesn't. Aaron Rodgers, the statistical unicorn, the most efficient quarterback in NFL history. So why are so many people down on Rodgers with the Steelers? Let's start with the skeptics playbook. Rodgers' 2024 season with the New York Jets was rough. He threw for 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions across 17 games with a 90.5 passer rating. Solid, but not the stuff of MVPs. His completion percentage over expectation ranked 39th among 40 qualifying passers, and his 6.7 yards per attempt was 28th per Pro Football Focus. That Achilles injury from week 1 of 2023 sapped his mobility, making him look stiff in the pocket. At 41, turning 42 in December 2025, age is a real concern. Former NFL scout John Middlecoff warned on his podcast that at 42, the cliff comes fast, and a bad season could tarnish Rodgers' legacy. The Jets' dysfunction didn't help, with Rodgers' tenure contributing to the firings of coach Robert Saleh and GM Joe Douglas. A 20-second meeting with the Jets brass where they questioned his desire to play left Rodgers frustrated, as he told the Pat McAfee show. Now in Pittsburgh, Rodgers faces new challenges. The Steelers' offensive line is green, with 4 of 5 starters in their first or second NFL season, allowing a 38.6 pressure rate in 2024, 4th worst in the league. The AFC North is brutal, with Lamar Jackson's Ravens and Joe Burrow's Bengals as division rivals, plus a 2025 schedule featuring the NFC North's Packers, Lions, and Vikings, and an improved Bears team. The Steelers' 6-game playoff losing streak, where they've allowed 28 plus points each time, is the longest such streak in NFL history, per CBS Sports Research. If Rodgers reaches the postseason, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, who won 5 of the last 6 AFC titles, loom large. Oh, and the off-the-field drama, his health stances, media appearances, and Aaron Rodgers' Enigma Netflix doc still fuels critics who call him a distraction. But here's where the narrative flips. Aaron Rodgers is a football god. He's a 4-time NFL MVP in 2011, 2014, 2020, and 2021, second only to Peyton Manning's 5, and the Super Bowl 45 MVP, leading the Packers to a 31-25 victory over the Steelers in 2010. His career stats are just absurd. A 4.3 touchdown to interception ratio, the best in NFL history, and a 102.6 passer rating, also tops all time. He's the only quarterback with over 400 passing touchdowns and a 100 plus passer rating. His 503 touchdown passes passes rank 5th all-time, just behind Brett Favre's 508, a mark he could pass in 2025. With 62,952 career passing yards, he's 7th all-time and could overtake Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger this season. Rodgers' playoff resume is equally stellar, debunking the myth that he's a postseason choker. In 21 playoff starts, he has a 100.1 passer rating, better than Tom Brady's 89.8 across 48 games, completing 64.6% of his passes for 5,894 yards, 45 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Pro Football Focus graded him the highest playoff quarterback from 2010 to 2019, a decade where he played 17 of his 21 postseason games, outshining Brady, who won 3 Super Bowls in that span. Rodgers' offenses averaged 25.95 points per game in the playoffs, virtually tied with Brady's 95.9. In clutch situations, fourth quarters, and overtime, Rodgers shines with a 103.3 passer rating and 11 TDs to 2 interceptions, compared to Brady's 83.3 passer rating and 20 TDs to 13 interceptions. This wasn't just the result of garbage time at the end of games. Here's a comparison of their numbers in the fourth quarter and overtime, while the game was within 1 score. Rodgers with a 103.6 passer rating and 5 TDs to 0 interception, versus Brady's 77.6 passer rating and a 10 TDs to 9 interceptions. On third and fourth downs, Rodgers' 46.41 conversion rate on passes tops Brady's 44.94 percentage. In 2-minute drills, he's 4 for 4 in leading game-tying or game-winning drives, including a 43-yard field goal setup against the 49ers in 2013 and a 60-yard Hail Mary to Jeff Janis in 2015. His 2010 Super Bowl run was a masterclass, 68.2 percentage completion, 1,094 yards, 9 TDs to 2 interceptions, and a 109.8 passer rating across 4 games, including 304 yards and 3 TDs in the Super Bowl. Clutch moments define him, like his 3rd and 10 laser in Super Bowl 45 to fend off Pittsburgh's comeback, or his 2016 sideline dime to Jared Cook against Dallas to set up a game-winning field goal. Even in losses like the 2009 wildcard, where he had 423 yards with 5 TDs, or 2015 divisional round, where he had a Hail Mary to Jeff Janis, Rodgers was just simply phenomenal. The real culprit for his 11-10 playoff record? Green Bay's defense, which allowed 25.57 points per game in the postseason, compared to Brady's 20.46. In NFC Championship games, Rodgers' defenses gave up 30.8 points per game, while Brady's allowed 21.64. Rodgers had just 1 top 5 scoring defense in 15 seasons as a starter, compared to Brady's 8. He's been carrying his team for years. Rodgers' move to Pittsburgh in 2025 is a match made in football heaven. He signed a 1-year, $13.65 million deal with $10 million guaranteed and up to $5.85 million in incentives, including a $1.5 million for a Super Bowl win, a steal for a future Hall of Famer. On the Pat McAfee show, Rodgers called Pittsburgh a cornerstone franchise with Mike Tomlin and a great group of leadership, perfect for his retirement tour. The Steelers' 21 consecutive non-losing seasons tie an NFL record, and Tomlin's 18-year streak without a losing record offers the stability Rodgers lacked in New York. Cam Hayward, a 4-time All-Pro, raved about Rodgers' buy-in on The Rich Eisen Show, noting how he's walking through the locker room asking questions and bonding with the teammates during a Malibu workout with receivers and tight ends. Pittsburgh's roster is stacked to support Rodgers. Their 2024 defense ranked 8th in scoring, 20.4 points allowed per game, led by TJ Watt, Hayward, Patrick Queen, and new addition Jalen Ramsey. This unit gives Rodgers a safety net the Jets just simply never had. Offensively, he's got DK Metcalf, a 2-time Pro Bowler whose 6'4" frame and 4.3 speed make him a deep threat dream. Rodgers already connected with Metcalf at UCLA, and a veteran coach told Fantasy Data that Rodgers is still throwing the heck out of the ball. Tight end Pat Freiermuth, with 18 receiving TDs since 2021, is a red zone beast. The run game, featuring Jaylen Warren and rookie Caleb Johnson with 1,537 yards and 21 TDs in college, should thrive under Arthur Smith, who's had a top 10 rushing offense in 4 of his 6 seasons as an offensive coordinator. Pittsburgh's 127.4 rushing yards per game in 2024 ranked 11th, easing the burden on Rodgers. The schedule offers legacy-defining moments. In Week 1, Rodgers faces the Jets, a chance to stick it to his old team. Week 8 brings the Packers, where a win would make him the 5th quarterback to defeat all 32 NFL teams, joining Brady, Favre, Manning, and Breeze. Against the Bears, he's 24-5 career, including 11-3 in Chicago. CBS Sports notes Rodgers' late 2024 surge: 18 TDs, 4 interceptions in his final 10 games, with a 4.5 TD to interception ratio, 7th best in the NFL, which basically suggests he's closer to his MVP form than critics think. However, it's important to note that it's not all rosy. The Steelers' young offensive line is a concern, with a 38.6% pressure rate that could expose Rodgers' reduced mobility. In 2024, he struggled against the blitz, ranking last among quarterbacks in completion percentage under pressure. Smith's run-first offense may force Rodgers out of his shotgun comfort zone, and the passing game lacks depth beyond Metcalf and Freiermuth. ESPN's Ben Solak questions whether Metcalf's physical style fits Rodgers' position demands. The AFC North is a meat grinder, with 2 games each against the Ravens and Bengals, plus a gauntlet against the NFC North. The Steelers' playoff woes, 6 straight losses, allowing 28+ points each time, put pressure on Rodgers to outscore opponents. A postseason run likely means facing Mahomes' Chiefs, a tall order. Injury risks loom large. Rodgers played through a hamstring, knee, and ankle issues in 2024, avoiding scans to downplay their severity, per The Athletic. Another major injury at 42 could end his career on a limp. Fantasy pros rank him as a low-end quarterback too, projecting 3,800 yards, 27 TDs, and 12 interceptions, suggesting he'll be a streaming option rather than a fantasy star. The Steelers' 0-6 playoff record since 2016, despite Rodgers' 70% win rate in December and January games, underscore the challenge of reversing their postseason curse. Despite the hurdles, Rodgers is built for this. He's defied doubters his entire career, from sitting behind Favre to winning MVPs at 37 and 38. His late 2024 performance with 18 touchdowns and 4 interceptions and a 300-yard game against Miami proves he's still elite. Yahoo Sports predicts he'll lead Pittsburgh to the playoffs, leveraging Tomlin's winning culture. His 6.4% touchdown rate per attempt over the last 5 years leads all quarterbacks, and his 6 yards per attempt under pressure versus 6.9 clean shows his resilience. Pittsburgh's defense will keep games close, letting Rodgers' 103.6 clutch passer rating take things over. His 7-for-12 success rate in tying or taking the lead on a fourth quarter or overtime drives while trailing by only 1 score crushes Brady's 43.3%. His 7-for-12 success rate in tying or taking the lead on fourth quarter and overtime drives while trailing by 1 score crushes Brady's 43.3%. The narrative is too perfect. Rodgers called 2025 his last ride on the Pat McAfee show, and he's motivated to cement his top 5 status as a quarterback. A playoff berth earns $500,000 and a Super Bowl $1.5 million, which are big incentives. Facing the Jets and the Packers adds fuel, and Fox Sports sees Pittsburgh as contenders if Rodgers exploits matchups like the Bears. If he syncs with Metcalf and leans on the run game, he could push for 12 wins and a deep playoff run, maybe even a Super Bowl. Hayward's praise for Rodgers' leadership signals a team is ready to rally behind him. Aaron Rodgers has nothing left to prove, yet he's suiting up for one final act with the Steelers. 4 MVPs, a Super Bowl, and records that may stand forever mark him as a legend. His 2025 season is a chance to silence critics, add to his legacy, and maybe hoist another Lombardi. Will he defy age and lead Pittsburgh to glory, or will the challenges prove just too much? The football world will be glued to every snap. Can Rodgers really take the Steelers to the playoffs? It's gonna be a fun season.